Morning, Pete, North Las Vegas. What do we know about Andersen? We know that they recently closed their doors. They sold all of their machines and tooling and expertise to Sturm Ruger. We know that Ruger just recently released an AR platform that they named Harrier, using all of the Andersen manufacturing, all of the recently acquired equipment. And I thought we'd just do a video talking about my own personal experience with Andersen. And in my opinion, it's kind of unfortunate that they decided to close their doors. Also, Ruger decided not to carry on with the Andersen logo. A lot of people refer to that as the poverty pony. I think in the past, a lot of people avoided Andersen, not because they had any problems, but because the price point. They it's that old saying, you get what you pay for. Well, I think in Andersen's case, you got way more than you paid for. So in this video here, I thought we would talk about my own personal experience. And I think we'll take this out of the packaging and we'll partially assemble it, put some pins in it, and see how things fit that way. A little bit of a backstory on a receiver. I don't know if anybody's real interested, but I was down at a local FFL here about 1.5 miles from the house. I saw 2 of these sitting in the cabinet, display cabinet, reasonably priced. And I almost bought one of them at the time. I walked out not buying them. Came back 2 weeks later, they were both gone. There's another FFL down the street about 3 miles. And same thing, I went in there and I saw one of these sitting on display. And same thing, I walked out, and about 1.5 weeks, 2 weeks later, I went back in. I was looking for some other stuff, and it was still there. So I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to get one of these. Do I think these things are going to ever become like true collector status to where they're going to be worth, boatloads of money? No, I don't think that's going to happen. Even if these things doubled in price from what I paid for this, if they doubled in price, they would be worth $150. So I just bought it mainly because Andersen Manufacturing shut down, and I just wanted to get another one. So this was the first Andersen I put together many, many years ago, and I didn't have a single issue with it. All the pins were snug. Everything dimensionally seemed to be just right. This is an Aero Precision enhanced upper, and there's like no wobble. If I tweak this back and forth, it's just a really nice fit. And it showed up without a scratch, a ding. There's no pitting. The finish was very well done. So that was my first Andersen. No problems whatsoever. And then I would say a couple years later, I put this together. And the same thing, if you look at the finish, I mean, the finish on this it's beautiful. And if you do see a scratch or a ding or a blemish, it's because I put it there. But this thing also showed up with no issues whatsoever. The only issue I've ever seen talked about with the Andersen was the magwell supposedly is machined a little bit on the tight side. And if you're using a polymer magazine especially, sometimes they wouldn't drop free. I didn't have that problem on either one of these builds. And once I get this new one out of the packaging, we'll see if this has the problem that you run across online. And I've only seen 2 videos where anybody talked about it. Mine don't have the problem, but I thought I would demonstrate using my magazines that they all drop free. So this is OK Industries, and it was built the old school way using spot welds. You'll see some of the newer so-called GI style magazines are laser welded. And once we pop this out, I'll show you how this is built. Okay, so that one pops right out, no issues. And like I said, this was built the old school way with spot welds. This is also an OK Industries. They're enhanced, but it's still put together the same way, spot welded. Pops right out of there. Lancer. This is an Amend. Not my favorite magazine. So if anything's gonna hang up, it might be this Magpul Gen 3. Nope. Not gonna show it on camera, but I ran all the same exact magazines through this one here and no issues. They all drop free. We got the latest acquisition out of the packaging, and I'm just looking this thing over, and same experience as to the older Andersons I have. There's not a scratch, dent, ding, pitting. The finish is amazing. They get rid of all the flashing. All the flashing inside the trigger area. I mean, like I was saying earlier in the video, it's unfortunate that they closed their doors. And it's unfortunate that, you know, people in the past have, in my opinion, overly criticized these things. I mean, they're very well done. Okay, so I'm going to put the mag catch, mag release in here, and we'll see if everything drops free on this one. I'm using some leftover Aero Precision parts that I've had from other builds. So like I said, we'll get the mag catch in here and see if we have any mag issues in this one. We're in there. Everything fits nice. Nothing's hanging up. See if our mags drop free. We'll just do one metal mag, and then I'll do the Magpul. Like I said, if any of them are going to stick, it would be the Magpul. Slides right out. All right, Magpul, 3rd gen. Slides right out. So if Anderson ever did have a tight mag well problem, the 3 that I have do not have that problem. I don't have all the lower receiver fancy pin gauges like some people on YouTube, but what I do is I measure what I have, and if they're in spec, then that becomes my precision pin gauge. So nominal on trigger pins is 0.154, and you can see these are coming in right on the money. So we'll take these pins and we'll test fit our bores on the receiver and see if they're snug. Okay, they both fit really nice, so no issues. There's no wobble when I slide them out. Even just putting them in one hole, there's barely any movement at all. So these are a good fit. So nominal on the receiver is 0.250, 1/4 inch on your pivot and your takedown bores. I just measured this one here, and we're coming in somewhere between 248 and 9. So let's just say 248 and 5/10,000ths. So I'm going to put these pins in loose, no springs, no detents. We'll just see how they fit in the bore. And then I'm going to pop the upper off of this one and see how much wobble we have, if any. Front pivot pin was tight. I had to put a little bit of effort on that to get it into the bore on the receiver, but I like that. This one here moves much more freely on your takedown, but it's not loose. When I wiggle this in the bore, there's very slight movement, hardly any at all. So the front one is very snug, and this one is, I'm not going to say it's loose. It doesn't wobble, but it moves in and out freely. Okay, we have the pins loose fit, no springs, no detents. This thing doesn't move at all. There is like literally no wobble. It's a very snug, nice fit. Okay, so this video wasn't really intended to be an assembly or a build video. I just wanted to share my own personal experience with Anderson lower receivers. And in my experience, they have all been very, very good. And it's unfortunate that they close their doors, in my opinion. And some of the criticism that they've received from YouTubers and other people, I'm only speaking from my own personal experience. I think some of the criticism they received was unjustified. All right, Pete, North Las Vegas. Over and out.